Okay, so this is the start of my tropical gardening journey. I started this garden last summer, at the end of last summer, and over August, September, I started to plant all my plants, and then obviously the winter time come, and this is the first summer that they all started to grow. I don't know all the Latin names. We've got obviously Persicaria Purple Fantasy, another Persicaria, which I obviously separated. They are giant red hot pokers, which had some amazing flowers, but obviously, as you can see now, they've all gone. We've had some really strong winds, and yeah, they got completely decimated. I mean, the leaves get to over a metre long, and they can't even support their own weight, so they kind of like fell to the elements, really. We've got lots of babies now as well coming out the bottom, which obviously I'm going to separate. I'll have to go onto YouTube and watch a video to see how you separate them. Got obviously the common Trachycarpus palm tree, which I used to watch a lot of George's jungle garden videos, and he said to buy small. Sometimes it's better to buy small than buy big plants, so that was a small one. All my yuccas. That one had a massive flower spike, and I think it's now starting to separate. I believe sometimes they branch off, but yeah, this is quite a big one actually. Got another one. All this growth on the top is all new growth. All the older leaves are down there, which are really small, and now it's pushed out a lot more bigger leaves this year. Got the old Waggy, which is about 5.5 foot tall now. That's grown quite a lot as well. Some of the leaves, as you can see, are kind of a bit brown on the ends, but the new leaves are actually nice and green. Another yucca there. European farm palm, or Champrops humilis. Probably not saying these names completely right. Another yucca on the end. I think it's Yucca rostrata, I think, this one, which has got so many new leaves waiting, spines to push out. But yeah, spiky as hell, as everybody probably knows. Not the kind of thing you want to stick in your hand. I forgot the name of this now. I do have all the labels for all the plants, and I've slowly but surely been trying to learn and know which plant is which, and I forgot what it's called. So if you want to leave a comment and tell me what you think it is. I think someone said it's a dragon tree or something, or the name of it might be, but got all the bananas, Musabaggio, Insete, which was very, very small, which has now got some decent sized leaves. We've got dwarf Cavendish, which was obviously going to have to come in. This is a very small plant and is still very small. Musa sycamensis, which is obviously in a pot, which next year will definitely be going into the garden. It's got some amazing markings on its leaves, especially the younger leaves. But that's probably a metre tall now and has grown quite a lot. And then we come round and we've got a Cordyline Torbe Dazzler, which is also in a pot as well, and that will be going to the ground next year. My Cycad, that won't obviously be going in, that will be going inside the house for the winter time, or sago palm, as they're more commonly known. Yeah, that's doing really well. We've got some grasses over the back. Another cordyline. Now this is a type of aloe, and I once again I forgot the name. I'm a little bit unprepared for this. This is my first YouTube video of my garden. Daisy Laurium, I think that's what it's called. I know there's different varieties of these. Once again, spiky as hell. It's like a saw blade if you run your hands across it. We've got a Frigesia Red Dragon Bamboo, was what it was sold to me as. That's pushed out a lot of new leaves now. There's a clumping form, being a Frigesia Bamboo. Got a Hebe, that was my partner's contribution to the garden. This smells of curry. If you rub against it, it's not a curry plant, you can't actually eat it. And obviously it has a name, which I only got yesterday actually from Big Plant Nursery in West Chiltern. If you live in West Sussex, it's well worth a visit, because you know it's just an absolutely amazing place for tropical plants. My little above ground fish pond. Let's go past the lamp. Another very small waggy that's been in the ground now for a year. Just pushed out new fronds this year. Trachycarpus volcano. A Pittosporum, and I forgot the other name for it. Yeah, that's got some amazing shaped leaves. Really absolutely amazing. Different types of grasses, Carex grasses, obviously. Hebes down here as well for flowers. My canna lily, which is higher than the fence now, so it's about 7 feet tall. This last year was obviously a new plant and got to about 1 metre high, and this year it's grown double, and it's still pushing out more flowers, or more flower spikes. Then of course I've got my brown turkey, I think it is fig tree, which had some sort of virus, some sort of something on with the leaves. So I cut some of them off, the really bad ones, which is kind of like, I don't know what that is, it's weird. It's like a fungus, I think. So I'm going to have to go back on the internet and see. Still pushing out new growth. Obviously that is a Dioecious tree, which means it will lose all its leaves and just be like sticks. But that's grown 4 times the size of what it was. Another Trachycarpus Fortunae. I pushed out some new fronds. Of course we've had some really strong winds down on the south coast. And of course, as everyone knows with trackies, the leaves get damaged, which is a shame, because that is quite a big leaf now, or would have been, or is, sorry. Yeah. Another Hebe. Olive tree, or European olive tree. It's supposed to be hardy in the UK, and we do actually have olives now, if I can find some, growing on the plant. If I can find them. Where are they? There they are. So we've actually got olives now. I don't know how you propagate olives, how long it is before you pick them, but that's grown. It was like a small ball, and I've just let it go, and now yeah, I mean next year I'm gonna cut the tops, which apparently is what you do, and then it should bush out a bit more, because around the back here it hasn't really done anything. So all the growth seems to be from halfway and then goes across to the front. The garden is south facing, so we get the sun all day, but I don't know if that affects why it's all grown towards the front. But anyway, there's George, my Easter Island head, because I was wondering about my garden. It was all plants, and I wanted to put a few like ornaments in to make it look more like Obviously these aren't, a lot of these plants aren't native to the UK, so bit of a weirdy looking one, that one. So the garden is not massive. We've got 4 dogs, so with 4 dogs, you know, you can't really do a jungle style garden because there's nowhere for them to go then, so it's sort of split up into 3. The decking, obviously some of these, like I said, will be taken out and put into the ground. Most of the Sycamores, the leaves are much thicker and much stronger. Obviously Insettia is going to have to come indoors or go into the shed. I mean, I was going to get a greenhouse, have a cold greenhouse, but obviously the YouTube is a great source of information, and I'm going to cut off, follow the instructions on there, but have to come indoors. All my Musabeggio bananas, which have been absolutely shredded by the wind. I mean, the leaves were absolutely fantastic. But now, this is the shady part of the garden, not so much the bananas because they get the sun all day pretty much. But as you can see, the leaves have been absolutely decimated by the strong winds. We're not far from the sea here, we're only about a mile away from the sea. And even though we've got houses around us, it's open fields pretty much down to the coast after that. And these are going to be dug up because obviously these are all adult plants, if you like. These were new, were very small, and they've grown substantially, like over, I mean, that's a hell of a root ball down on the bottom of there. I don't know if that's very good with the camera, but yeah, I mean, this one is a lot thicker now. It's got quite a thick old sturdy base. It's big. These are all the pups it's pushing out. But yeah, and as you can see, it's leaning now to an angle where the wind gets so strong. I know bananas do lean, but this one really is now starting to lean. All my gingers, different types of Hedychium gingers. They haven't really done much, actually, to be honest with you. This one, I know they flower late in the year, and this one is flowered. This one's flowered. But yeah, I kind of run out of room really where to put everything. And now, of course, I've got all these young banana plants. Some which I will definitely separate from the mother plant. There's at least 4 decent sized ones. But I'm going to wait until the end of October, hopefully, before the first frost comes, and then I'm going to move some of these because obviously they get hammered by the wind. But obviously, as I said, south-facing garden, and we're not far from the sea. We do get, we don't really have any like sheltered spots in the garden. So yeah, that's all astrograss because with the dogs it was grass and it looked like the Somme battlefield. There was more holes and craters and more dirt than there was turf. So we put down astrograss, which obviously you have to clean, which is a pain in the bum. We have a astrograss cleaner, which is like a disinfectant, which I have to do like once a month, stop it from smelling. Obviously there's dirt underneath, but yeah, if you get astrograss and you've got dogs, that's something you need to consider. You can mix up your own cleaning chemicals and stuff like that, but you can buy cleaning chemicals for astrograss, which is like a disinfectant and it smells nice. And then got a couple of cordyline picos, which did have really stand out pink veins under their leaves, but now not so pink. They're very small at the moment. But yeah, and then I've got some ferns at the back here. in the shady spot. Fatsia there, which is in the shade. I know some people say it can go in the sun, some people say it can have part sun, part shade, but it is completely in the shade. It might get an hour when the sun comes through the gap. Another Persicaria Lance Corporal. That's an amazing looking, that's grown a lot as well. Puts out these really strange red flower spikes with the most daintiest little red flowers. But that's Persicaria Lance Corporal. All different types of ferns. I forget all the names because they actually look very similar to each other. A Mahonia. This is a red Mahonia, not like the common yellow one. That's done very well. And this is the normal Mahonia, the standard one, spiky as anything. Pushes out some amazing yellow flowers. And they pretty much last for the beginning of the winter as well. Forgot what this one is called. Like I said, I'm not an expert in gardening. I only started doing this last year. This was just, like I said, a plain piece of grass. There was no fence, no plants, it was just grass and a shed. And then one evening I got bored, was going through YouTube like you do, and then I come across George's Jungle Garden and then Mark's Tiki Garden, and then I thought, oh wow. And lucky for us, you know, about 40 minutes away, we've got, say, Big Plant Nursery in West Chiltern or Ashington. It's kind of in between the two. And they sell all these types of plants. That is what they specialise in. So I went up and spoke to them. Fantastic people up there, and a year, a lot of these, some of these went in, a lot have gone in this year at the beginning of springtime. But yeah, and this is what it ended up like. I think I put about 170 odd plants in the ground. 171 I think it was when we counted, which is absolutely crazy. Crazy amounts of money, but wow, it is like a little bit of paradise, a little bit of like tropical in the UK. And I know this garden is nothing compared to other people's gardens and what they've done. Some of it has just been like stick them in the ground and then think, oh, and you know, wrong place for that one doesn't fit, and of course not taking into consideration they're going to grow. But yeah, so obviously in the winter time it will look a lot different because the bananas will be gone, the cannon will be gone, the grasses will die back to the ground. They came back, they were in the ground last year. The miscanthus grass, I forgot the name of that one. They die off to the ground. The other grasses actually, they actually last all year. They don't actually die off. They stay all year long. That's another Mahonia, by the way. That's Soft Caress. Again, flowers with yellow flowers. I forgot what this one is actually called, but this actually smells of lemon if you touch it. There's another yucca there, and I forgot the name now of that one. I do have all the tags. I did read what ground they need, what sun they need, what they need to be planted in. Morning. And that was my neighbour. Now out come my dogs. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching.